Welcome back to Morrowind. Now that we've finished with the 2 expansions, all that remains is for us to go and find and kill our old friend and enemy Dagoth Ur and beat the game. And we're going to start as a werewolf because it's more fun than levitating.
Ours more ferocious than you!
And we get to feast on this woman's heart who's been a jerk to us throughout the game. Oh, hi Cliff Racers. It wouldn't be a true ending to Morrowind without Cliff Racers to murder. So before we can go to Dagoth Ur, we first need to go to both Order of Sol and Vemnior to pick up the 2 artifact weapons Keening and Sunder, which are needed to destroy the heart of Lorkhan to kill Dagoth Ur. So like I said, instead of levitating, we're just going to be a werewolf since we can jump over mountains instead, which is more fun. Come on then, Cliff Racers. They've been upset that they haven't been prominently featured during the Tribunal and Blood Moon expansion. Right, I think Order of Sol is just up here. There we go. So we actually need to go through here, however we can't open that up while a werewolf. So we'll kill everything that's here first and then we'll change back into a human. I think there's something else over here. Hi Dagoth's brother, how you doing? We'll try not to glitch through the ceiling. There we go. Now let's wait a few hours. We need to wait until the Hircine's ring effect wears off and we turn back into a wood elf. So sadly we'll have to wait a few more seconds until the game registers we're allowed to move. Here we go. Hi Dagoth Ur, give me your key. So here's another 6th house amulet that all of the Dagoths have. And here's the special amulet of Heartfire that he's carrying. We'll take that as another trophy. So we do get stripped down after we come back out of being a werewolf, so we'll put our clothes back on. We won't put that many back on though. In fact, let's just put our robe on. And put the boots of blinding speed on so we can move quickly. There we go. And here is the artifact blade Keening. Constant effect fortifies magic, health, attack, speed, and agility. In Citadel Order of Sol, I discovered the artifact blade Keening, one of the enchanted tools created by the Dreamer Craft Lord Kagrenac. So we were told that we need to wear Wraithguard in order to wield this weapon. So let's try wielding the weapon without Wraithguard. And have a look at our HP in the bottom left corner. So this drastically depletes our health the longer we wield the weapon for, so we need to take it off. Or we just need to put Wraithguard on. There we go, and now we're immune to the damaging effect. So you don't technically need Wraithguard in order to beat the game. However, you can't really wield these weapons properly without it. For now, let's put, actually no, not yet. I was considering putting Hircine's ring back on, so we can go and jump our way to the next one. However, first we want to cast Mark near the final dungeon so we can quickly return. So here is the centre of Red Mountain in the centre of Rorenfell. And this is where the Blightstorm is coming from. And this is also the final dungeon. The entrance is right here. Let's get a bit away from the steam vent, and then we'll go and find Mark. There we go. And now let's make our way back to the Vemnior. Yep, let's put the Ring of Hircine back on. just need to wait a few seconds for the game to register we can move. And now let's make our way to Vemnial. So we got the Ring of Hircine from the final quest of the Blood Moon expansion, which will allow us to turn to a werewolf whenever we feel like it. Since we're not actually affected by the werewolf disease ourselves. See, which way is Vemnial? It's over here. I don't believe you can take any falling damage when you're a werewolf, so we can jump as much as we want. I just find it really fun to jump around the place as a werewolf. It's definitely the best part of being a werewolf in this game. Right, here we go. So we can't interact with anyone, sadly, while we're a werewolf. So let's just make our way downstairs. Here's another one of Dagoth Ur's brothers. Now we just need to clear the place out so we can rest. Anyone else to murder? Skeleton. There we go. Now we'll just wait for the game to allow us to move again. There we go. Veldo the Undying. Sadly he doesn't have anything useful on him. Which is a shame when he has a name like that. And here's Dagoth Ur. And this is the guy who's carrying Sunder. So let's equip Wraithguard, and then we'll put Sunder on. We'll have a look at this weapon. This is a very small hammer. I'd be expecting it to be a lot bigger, but it isn't. Never mind. Now then, let's put that ring back on. So this is the royal ring that we got from killing the king. It's really overpowered, but at least it will allow us to wield the Boots of Blinding Speed easily. Let's also wear the robe that we got from killing the king as well. Since the king was a jerk and he ordered our assassination, so we just killed the guy. Right, so we've done everything here, so now let's head to the final dungeon. And similar to Lorkhan, the very first Dreamer ruin we found, the entrance is sealed and we need to find a crank to open it. And here we are in Dagoth Ur.
Come, Nerevar, friend or traitor, come. Come and look upon the heart and Akulakhan. And bring Wraithguard, I have need of it.
So Dagoth Ur will speak to us a few times while we're going through this dungeon. Since he is an old friend of ours after all, and he likes to chat.
Come to the Heart Chamber. I wait for you there, where we last met countless ages ago.
Yeah, sure thing. I'll be on my way soon, Dagoth Ur. I'm just stripping down these dead adventurers to pay respects to them, leaving them in their pants. Wait, that was the Dagoth, wasn't it? Let's take your 6th house amulet.
Come to me through fire and war. I welcome you.
What? What use of speech? If you will not submit, you must be destroyed. You have chosen war with Dagoth Ur. We grieve for your loss, but we will not spare you. You refuse the sweetness of Lord Dagoth's friendship, now know the bitterness of his fury. He will not come to you, Lord Nerevar. It is you who must beg forgiveness. Go to him, beneath Red Mountain. Kneel before him, and he will show you mercy. Oh yeah, we're already on our way there right now. We're beneath Red Mountain as we speak. The chairs, the tables, all confused, we hear the words and we must speak them. We take them and arrange them, but still they will not be quiet. Well, let me put you out of your misery then.
Welcome, Moon and Star. I have prepared a place for you.
Thank you. It's nice to know if we're welcome in the final dungeon. Usually the antagonists of games don't like you being there, but Dagoth Ur, he's a pal, he likes us.
Come, bring Wraithguard to the Heart Chamber. Together let us free the cursed false gods.
Yeah, I'm on my way, Dagoth Ur, just give me a moment. Jeez, those are some loud flies. Let's stay as far away as we can. Right, let's take that money.
Welcome, Nerevar. Together we shall speak for the law and the land, and shall drive the mongrel dogs of the Empire from Morrowind.
So that lower facility is where we're meant to be going, but before we go there, there's one more artifact we need to grab. And it should be up here. Ooh, money. That makes this whole adventure worthwhile. A Daedric Club. I don't know if we ever picked up one of those. Let's take it. We'll need to drop all of our hammers, though. Let's repair everything ready for the final fight. And then we'll drop the rest of our hammers. And here is the final artifact, Crocia of St. Lothris. We have a temple quest to pick that up, but obviously this is the final dungeon, so we didn't come here until now.
Is this how you honor the sixth house and the tribe unmourned? Come to me openly, and not by stealth.
Yeah, I wasn't planning to sneak down. I've been running through here with a big flaming sword. I don't really think stealth is what I've been going for. Ooh, a chest. Let's take some coins. White cloth of a horny fist. Sure, let's take it, why not? And here is Dagoth Ur.
Welcome, Moon and Star, to this place where destiny is made.
How are you doing, Dagoth Ur? So, let's have a chat with our old friend. It began here, it will end here. Have you any parting words, or would you prefer to skip the speeches and get down to our business? You are the challenger here, after all, so to you goes the courtesy of the first blow. Now that you have come to me here, there can be but one result. Many times I have considered offering to share this place with you. I considered offering to accept your oath of service. You might try to buy my trust by giving me Wraithguard, Keening, and Sunder. I thought we might once again be friends, comrades, brothers in arms. But I have won this place and power by right of conquest, by right of daring and enterprise. I will not risk it to cunning and deceit. I offer you no deals. If you are my enemy, I cannot trust you, and if you are not my enemy, I cannot let you live. It will all be decided here. I believe I will prevail, but I cannot be sure, and I am vain enough that, should I fall, I would wish to be remembered in my own words. So if you have any final questions you would ask them now. I have final questions I would ask of you, if you would answer. My first question is, are you really Nerevar Reborn? We can tell him that by the grace of gods and fate I am Nerevar Reborn, or that we're a loyal servant to the Emperor, or that we know no more than he does. All those things are kind of true, but I like to think that we're such a protagonist now that we're going to answer with the true protagonist line. I am a self-willed hero and I make my own fate. You are bold. I honour your independence. You are one to teach the gods their limits. I hope the bards will praise the glory of your death and song. My second question is, if you win, what do you plan to do with the power of a heart? Will you make yourself a god and establish a theurarchy? Or will you complete Akulakhan and dispute control of Tamriel with the Septums? Or will you share the heart with your followers as I have, and breed a new race of divine immortals? We could tell him that we're going to make ourselves a god, that we're going to complete Akulakhan, share the heart, or tell him the truth that we have our own secret plan for the heart. Well, perhaps there may be surprises in store for me yet, or perhaps you obscure your plans on principle, or perhaps you're an instinctive bluffer. No matter. My final question is, if I had offered to let you join me, would you have surrendered Wraithguard, Sunder and Keening to me to seal your oath? We could tell him we would have never joined him, we would have never surrendered the tools, perhaps with the right guarantees. Or, we have a cunning plan, like Baldric. We do have a cunning plan. Yes, of course, I doubt that any cunning plan would have been of much use once I had the tools in hand. But now we'll never know. Pity. But now, if you have any more questions, ask them. Otherwise, you are the challenger, and I await your first blow. Well, let's ask questions. What are your questions? So, he is the main antagonist, so he has quite a bit to talk to us about, so we may as well ask him. First off, what's your plan for the heart? I will continue to draw divine power from the heart to distribute it to my kin and followers. I will continue to broadcast divine power under the blight winds, so that it will touch each soul of Lorenfell, and even more broadly across the waters to the rest of Morrowind and Tamriel. In time, every mortal in Tamriel shall feel the liberating contact with the divine. In other words, he wants to give everyone in the world corpus disease. We do have corpus disease ourselves and it makes us immortal. However, everyone else who's had it has either turned insane or died. So, let's stop that plan. What's your plan for the 6th house? The 6th house will serve as the elite cadre of our movement. As cultists evolve through the various stages of enlightenment, they will become, as suits their abilities, either holy warriors or priests. Their duty is to prepare themselves for service. Their joy and liberation is to enter ever more deeply into the profound enlightenment of the divine dream world. What's your plan for the Dunmer? I will free the Dunmer from the imperial yoke and cast down the false gods of the temple. I will lead them out of their ancient superstitions and gift them with intimate knowledge of the divine. Then perhaps when Morrowind is once again restored to its ancient glories, it will be time to consider whether the Dunmer should cultivate ambitions of empire. Although you're not much better than the Imperials, are you? Let's ask him how he justifies his crimes. If by my crimes you mean the inevitable suffering and destruction caused by war, then I accept the burden of leadership. The 6th house cannot be restored without war. Enlightenment cannot grow without the risk of upsetting the traditional bounds and complacent herds. And the Mongol armies of the Empire cannot be expelled from Morrowind without bloodshed. As I have charity and compassion, I grieve, but our mission is just and noble. What happened to the Dreamer? I have no idea what happened to the Dreamer. I have been denied the opportunity to study Wraithguard, and I am not sure how much of Kagrenac's lore is invested in his tools, and how much of his own sorcery and mastery. I have long studied Kagrenac, and have come to admire his wisdom and craft. Someday, after the campaigns of the 6th house are secure, I hope to have time to dedicate myself to this mystery. And finally, why are you building Akulakhan? Akulakhan will serve 3 purposes. First, it will be the champion of my armies, liberating first Lorenfell, then Morrowind, and then perhaps the rest of Tamriel. Second, it will serve as a sower and cultivator of the divine substance derived from the heart. 3, it will serve as a prominent banner and symbol of our cause to defy the Empire, to liberate mortals from ancient superstitions, and to glorify our crusade against the gods. So basically he wants to use the giant construct to spread the corpus disease. Well, I'm not a fan of that, so I'm finished talking. Defend yourself. Very well, if you're impatient to begin, go ahead. You are the challenger. To you goes the first blow. I believe we've said all that needs to be said. Now only deeds can resolve this matter. Very well. So even though he says that we're allowed the first blow, he's the one who actually starts the fight. He's a bit of a jerk. I don't like you being like that, Dagoth Ur. Well, you want a fist fight, do you? Sure thing. Come on then, my old friend. I'm just gonna punch you in the face. Come on, Dagoth Ur. You call yourself a god? You're already out of fatigue. Well, let's just beat him down. You know what, let's slash him with our sword. There we go. Well, that was easy. Let's have a look around. So this must be how he was contacting everyone. And in here is Akulakhan's chamber. Oh, and a heart ring. Sure, let's take that. Let's have a look at that big construct we've heard about so much.
What a fool you are. I'm a god. How can you kill a god? What a grand and intoxicating innocence. How could you be so naive? There is no escape. No recall or intervention can work in this place. Come, lay down your weapons. It is not too late for my mercy.
So this is the true final boss. We have to take down Dagoth Ur while he's empowered by the heart of Akulakhan. Or the heart of Lorkhan, rather. Let's use our ex-wife's sword on him. So as you can see, he's regenerating health incredibly quickly. It's worth mentioning that we could one-shot him and end the boss fight like that by using these... where are they? The Ebony Arrows of Slaying. These will one-shot him. However, that's kind of cheap, so let's not do that. Yeah, so this guy's not going down. So, this is a puzzle boss, and we've already been told how to solve a puzzle. So let's go down and do it. Hi Dreamers, how you doing? Well, he's still up there. It looks like he's going to be a while until he gets down to us. So here is the heart of Lorkhan that gives the Tribunal their power. And we've been told how to destroy this already. We need to equip Wraithguard. Do we have Wraithguard equipped? Yes, we do. And then we need to strike it once with Sunder to cause it to resonate. And then we need to strike it repeatedly with Keening until it destroys itself.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Fool! Stop!
Well, now you're without power, Dagoth Ur. So let's handle this the way we should have all along. Come on, Dagoth Ur. While the place is collapsing around us, let's just destroy him with our fists. Oh, we should rest and meditate on what we've learned. I suppose we should probably drink some potions while we're doing this, since it is quite silly. No, let's increase our hand-to-hand skill by bounding some gloves. Come on then, Dagoth Ur. This is for all the suffering you've caused me, and everyone else on Morrowind. There you go. And that's the end of Dagoth Ur. Let's just walk out of here. That's right. The Nerevarine is too cool to look at explosions. Well, that's the end of Akulakhan. Done a good job today. Let's read our journal. I found the heart of Lorkhan within the giant artifact Akulakhan. I struck the heart with Sunder, then struck it again and again with Keening until the enchantment was destroyed. Severing them from the sustaining power of the heart, Dagoth Ur was destroyed, but the disturbance triggered an earthquake and I had to flee for my life. Okay, I guess we really should get out of here then. So we were told that we're not allowed to teleport out of this area. I'm not going to test it because I believe that you are allowed to teleport out after you kill Dagoth Ur. And we need to run out normally. And let's get out of here.
You no longer bear the burden of prophecy. You have achieved your destiny. You are free. The doomed Duima's folly, Lord Dagoth's temptation, the Tribunal's seduction, the god's heart freed, the prophecy fulfilled. All fate sealed and sins redeemed. If you have pity, mourn the lost, but let the weeping cease. The blight is gone, and the sun's golden honey gilds the land. Hail, Saviour, Hortator, and Nerevarine. Your people look to you for protection. Monster and villains, great and small, still threaten the people of Vvardenfell. Enemies and evils abound, yet indomitable will might rid Morrowind of all its ills. For you, our thanks and blessing, our gift and token given. Come, take this thing from the hand of God.
Oh, thanks, Ashura. So Ashura, see you later. She came to us at the end of Tribunal expansion, and she's come to us again here. So we can take the Ring of Ashura, constant effect, night eye, and restore fatigue. It's not too bad. Restore fatigue's always good. There we go. And we've effectively beaten the game now. Let's get out of here. Let's recall. So this storm is no longer coming from the centre of the volcano anymore. So if we give it a few minutes, the sky will eventually turn to normal. You can already see that the red's starting to fade to blue. So we've now saved Vvardenfell and all of Morrowind from Dagoth Ur. Yep, there's no more red anymore. So since the Blightstorm is now ended, the Ghost Gate and Ghost Fence is also turned off now. So let's go and make our way over there. Yeah, it's just a nice, quiet, tranquil night now. Excellent. We've done a good job. You know what? You know what? Let's use one of our 5 ebony arrows of slaying on this cliff racer. Super murdered. Well, we're getting close to Ghost Gate now. There we go. As we can see, the Ghost Fence is now turned off, because there's no more need of it. Because that was keeping in the Blightstorm as much as it could before. Let's have a chat with someone on the inside, see what they have to say about this. Excuse me, Sarah, but, well, you're the Nerevarine and the big hero, and I don't really know how to talk to an important folk like you, except to say thank you for everything. You're indeed the incarnate and Nerevarine of prophecy. It takes some getting used to, but the devil is dead, and the blight is gone, and there is no doubt who we have to thank for it.
Do you need something on that?
Excellent, now everybody is referring to us as the Nerevarine. Let's make our way to Vivek and see what he has to say about himself. Now, where is our ring? I'm trying to look for the, there it is, the Malasar's Maze Band. Teleport to Vivek.
Flatter me with your attention if you wish to do business.
Okay, let's go have a chat with Vivek. Also, let's put on our rags that we got on the very first episode. Let's wear those. Hi Vivek, how are you doing? The blight is gone, and we have survived. Now we must dedicate ourselves to rebuilding the temple, and you must dedicate yourself to the responsibilities of a protector of Morrowind. We have lost our divine powers, but not altogether. Some token of the people's faith remains, and we shall dedicate it to rebuilding the temple. Now that Dagoth Ur is gone, we can turn our energies to the more humble needs of the people. It is good, honest work, and I believe there is redemption in it. Has this changed at all? Well, let's ask him anyway. Alexia, Sophocil and I have gained our divine powers from the heart of Lorkhan, and now we no longer have access to the heart, so we lose our divinity. I have always worn my divinity lightly, fundamentally. I'm not at all a serious person, and I will not miss it. I have tried to do what was necessary. I am afraid I have done some harm. I assure you, I will be quite content to be a mere mortal again, dedicated to my own amusements. Let's have a chat about Alexia. We don't communicate. Without the heart, our divine powers must diminish. She takes her divinity very seriously, and the loss weighs heavily on her. She tends to brood, and I fear she will do herself and others harm. Yeah, I killed my ex-wife Alexia. This is very sad. I presume she killed Sophocil. I thought she might harm me, and I presumed she tried to kill you, Nerevrine. It is all very sad, but death comes to all mere mortals, and we are all mortal now. In time, death will come to me, Nerevrine, perhaps even by your hand. It is futile to deny one's own fate, but nonetheless, I'm afraid I find it all very, very sad, but it should end this way. Something that began in such glory and noble promise. I did not hear from him since the defeat at Red Mountain. Truly, I scarcely ever heard from him. He is completely self-absorbed like myself. Without the heart, his divine power will diminish. But I doubt he will notice the loss. He is fascinated by the hidden world and its mysteries, and I doubt he even notices us most of the time. Right, let's go back up here. Let's talk about rebuilding the temple. There are still issues to be resolved between the temple and the dissident priests, and now that our greatest enemy is gone, we must reorganize the temple to meet the needs of the people. We have less needs of ordinators, for example, and greater need of priests and healers and teachers. But we must find time to mourn and honor the dead. Without the power of the heart, our divine powers diminish. Our days as gods are numbered. I have told my priest that I shall withdraw from the world and that the temple should be prepared for a change. We may be honored no longer as gods, but as saints and heroes, and the temple will return to the faith of our forefathers, the worship of the ancestors of the pre-good Daedra, Azura, Mephala, and Boethia. The missions and traditions of the temple must continue, but without its living gods. Let's talk about let's talk about Dagoth Ur first. He was a god, and now he is dead. If one can truly kill a god. Talk about being the protector of Morrowind. There is much to do. You still have Kagrenac's tools, potent weapons, and the wit and experience of a proven hero. The Tribunal and the Temple are happy to yield to you the duties of fighting the enemies of Morrowind. Well, what do we have to do then? There are many blighted beasts and horrors that have survived, and must be hunted down and destroyed. There are lesser monsters and villains of all kinds who prey upon the people. There are unsolved mysteries and legendary treasures undiscovered. I'm sure you will find much to occupy you. Okay. I guess then we're done here. Well, let's get out of here. We could kill Vivek, but really he seems like a decent guy, unlike our ex-wife, who tried to kill us. So we'll let Vivek live. He said that he's now mortal, and he will die in time, so we'll let him continue to do what he can to try and redeem himself. So all that remains now is for us to go and hand in this final temple quest, and become the leader of the temple, and then we're pretty much done. So I'll go and splice that in, and then we'll see you in the next game we play. And now let's go and hand in this weapon we collected.
Welcome, friend. Welcome, friend. Are you the one I've nearly a legend around here?
Have you found the Crocea of St. Lothros? Yes, here it is. Yes, this is the Crocea of St. Lothros. I can feel its undefeated spirit within. You have brought great honour to the temple. Excellent. Is there anything else we can do? I have no more duties of you. Speak with Endrin Lethrin in Vivek, or the guy in Molag Mar. Well, let's head back to Vivek now. So let's put the mazed band back on.
I don't know where to begin.
Do you wish to? I am blessed.
Now, out of the way,
to meet your
please.
service, Outlander.
Okay, fine. We'll have to exit and enter through the other direction. Hi, friend.
I see this land suits you.
Faith conquers all,
Welcome you
Nerevarine.
freely,
Bless your breath and
Outlander.
blood. Why, thank you. Now then, let's speak about duties. Oh, did we not show him our ebony mail yet? Yes, here's the ebony mail. Ah, keep the ebony mail. Treat it well and do good deeds when you wear it. You are now the Patriarch. I have long wanted to retire from the politics of the temple and write another book of sermons. Excellent. Now, I believe we're supposed to go and collect all of the, everything now. Let's ask him about duties. See, can we ask him about any of these other items? No, I don't believe so. Okay, let's make our way back to where we just handed in that item for the temple then now. And now that we've become the Patriarch, we can now recollect all the artifacts we gave in. As the Patriarch, you have the right to take the Cleaver of St. Thelms, as long as you treat it with proper care and respect. Let's take the Crocea as well. See, did we give you any more? I believe we also gave her some armour, but I forgot what it's called. There we go. We get the hair shirt of Saint Aurelor as well. So I believe that was all of the items. So now that we've got these, let's make our way to the second expansion area, Tribunal. So let's go to Mordhold. Hi guys, you're still waiting for Amalexia? We await the goddess's command. Her word is our law. There is no time to speak to the likes of you. Well, we're her ex-husband, and she's now dead, so, you know. They're going to be stuck there for quite a while. So now that we've done everything, let's go and hand over all the artifacts we still have to the museum.
Yes?
Hi, lady. So then, do we still have Yo-Yo's bow? Interesting. Is that ash yams I smell? I can offer you 15,000 gold. Sure thing. Oh, we must have dropped it back in... I think it's probably still in the first mead hall. Well, I can't be bothered to go and get it. See, what do we still have? We still have the Cuirass of the Saviour's hide. Ah, Hircine's hide. What a prize. Are you willing to part with it? I can offer you 30,000 gold. Thank you. The ebony mail? I've heard of the ebony mail, but never seen it. It would fit quite well in our collection. Were you willing to part with it? I can offer you 30,000 gold. Thank you. I assure you it will be well cared for. The helm of Orain Bearclaw. I must admit I am only vaguely familiar with this piece. I shall have a bit more to research on it. Would you be willing to sell it? I can offer you 30,000 gold. You're a true friend of the museum. See, what are we still carrying? I'm still carrying that staff we got given. Maybe that doesn't count as one of these items then, never mind. So here's all the things we've offered. Yeah, the Crusade of St. Laurith, she wasn't going to accept that, never mind. For some reason I thought it was an artifact. Yeah, so the only item that we haven't given to her has been the bow, which is still in our old mead hall up in Solstheim. So here's the rest of the items. Oh, we forgot to give her a boost of blinding speed, of course. Well, they're certainly interesting, aren't they? An odd combination of enchantments, to be sure. Do you wish to sell them to the museum? It's not much, but I can offer you 250 gold. Sure thing. They'll certainly be one of our most amusing artifacts, I'm sure. Yeah, so there's the boots of blinding speed. We finally got rid of them. There's the rings, the 2 helms.
Welcome, justice never
So that is the full collection of the museum artifacts. The only things missing are the Uriel's bow, which, like I said, is up in Solstheim. I can't be bothered to go and get it. And also, what's it called? Spellbreaker, that's the one. Spellbreaker, we would need to turn into a vampire to go and get it by killing some vampire hunter. And that would both take a lot of time and effort and also be completely unworth it. And it would also be a jerk move to kill the vampire hunter. So I'm going to say that's everything done. Let's head home. So here's our home. Got our full stash of ash statues and bell hammers we collected. The House Dagoth cup. There's the Mask of Clavicus vial with the 67 slave braces from rescuing loads of slaves. There's our pile of artifacts. There's a Sundering Keening on the bed, as well as the Spear of a Hunter from Blood Moon expansion. And some armour pieces down here, the full set of several different types. So this is the stuff from Almalexier's bodyguard. And here's our chest full of potion ingredients. But let's have a seat here and read Engasta Vagastia Kavaskis. And then we'll end it. Engasta Kavaka Kavakis, an obscure text in the language of the Slode, purposefully written by the Second Era Western necromancer Nagasta. Nagasta Kavata Kavakis, Nagasta Kavaka Navardis, Astavas so Shivolt Gavto, UK Kasato, so Reinatal, Vakakis San, Vagantigal, Mobambro Kaj Aldija, Individualwo, Kiljulu, Ujamamia, Tushkar so Vantina, Akidivado, en Ki Eprastras, Informaro, Uvana Pri, so Lacraro, so Zumibudantandaj, Sunivazawaro, Sad Nature, Incauno Pri, Azilo Acujaro, Akikavalco so Kaviso, Nelmaforo and Hisvestas, Prompte Cell, Diversivivo, Matizero, Adugo Oish Distra. So Introdo Cavaco, Matudo Westlarkaj Cavalco, and Casta so unfortunately, Accord Valtavage, Cavan so, Paul Distributuru, Us Ansovan so Papera, Cavaca Cavac, Sets Alfin Soco, so, and Corfco so Diversage, Vero Shirao, and Trona Buck, Antone Thimble, and Provas Karjan, and Vus Ekayam, Ashkisi, Centaponso so Sama, and Marvald Reste, Circumvan Stavo, Paperfolio, Extavi Epsoso, Publicutiki, Illustros the Ravran, Zero Pro, Zubraldro, Kirosro Nogs and Strassus, Ujibazos and Intero, Elfilonsko, so Matrivro Carasreto, Distributo Rodriguez so Spacianum, Limbinguango Kaj Barisgask Pli, Amplicasan, and Han Port and Provoso, Pri Kisahoro Akulakhan, Tiru Karakasantiko, Ranakafixos, Anus Aspricoso, Cavakaso, Giza Cavero Servos, Encrino Keel, Kenrazazo, Vidicia So, Ranatoro. There we go. The best book in the entire game. So see you next time with whichever game I choose next. Maybe it will be Oblivion and Skyrim and the Fallout games, or I might take a break from this whole long RPG style and go do another game instead. So see you next time. And now let's watch the credits as we talk about the game. So, that's the end of The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. It's my favourite game of all time, even though I know it has a lot of flaws. Gameplay wise it's obviously inferior to Skyrim and questionably Oblivion, even though Oblivion has a lot of problems. So we might get onto that someday if we play through Oblivion. However, the thing that really sells this game as being one of the best ever is just the atmosphere of the game itself and the game world. It's one of those type of enthralling games that can just stop you from remembering to go and eat, remember to go and sleep, all that good stuff. It's that enthralling, and those are the best type of games. So, should we talk about the story of the game? Let's talk about the story of the game. So, we are Lord Nerevar Reborn, called the Nerevarine. Back at the Battle of Red Mountain, Lord Nerevar led the Chima people against the Dwemer, who were led by Jumak, who was also our friend. And beneath the mountain, we fought and killed Jumak, but we were mortally wounded in the process. And we found the heart of Lorkhan chamber, which is where we just fought the last boss. And we saw Kagrenac vanish into nothingness when he tried using the tools on the heart. So we told Dagoth Ur to remain behind and guard the heart, while we went and had a chat with our companions, Almalexia, who was our ex-wife, who we murdered during the game because she was insane, Sophasil, who's also dead by the end of the game, and Vivek, the only one who actually survived to the end of the game, because he seemed to actually want to repent for what he did, so, you know, may as well give him a chance. So then, when we went to consort with those, we had a chat to the Daedric Prince Azura, who is the one who basically told us about our prophecy and was the main figure of the game, who kept returning to us at the end of the Tribunal and the main game to give those final cutscenes. And Azura basically told us not to use the powers of the heart because otherwise they would corrupt us. When we return to the heart chamber, let's turn down the music because for some reason it gets really loud after this. Let's watch the credits again. So when we returned to the heart chamber, Dagoth Ur refused to relinquish the tools because he'd already been corrupted by the heart's power, and then we had to kill him as a result. And then on our way back out, we died either of our mortal wounds from battling Jumak or from being poisoned by Almalexia, Sophasil and Vivek. That bit's left vague and unclear, so you don't know actually what happened. And then, without us to stop them any longer, the three people who would go on to be the Tribunal gods used the tools, gained the power, and really pissed off Azura in the process. Azura, in retaliation to them defying her, turned the skin of all of the Chima people ashen as a curse, which basically turned them into the Dark Elves, which you see in the games. And then she told them that one day, Lord Nerevar, who was betrayed, would come back and basically throw down the false gods and return Morrowind to its ancestor worship. So then, cue present day, we, our Lord Nerevar Reborn, we return to basically put right what was wrong and to throw down the false gods, which we do because, like I said, we killed our ex-wife, and also Sophasil's already dead, and we killed Dagoth Ur as the final boss of the game. We let Vivek live because, again, he seems to be a decent dude, so may as well let him live. He's mortal now, he can't really cause many problems. So, we stopped Dagoth Ur in his plan to spread the corpus disease, which came from the heart, over the whole of the world, because otherwise obviously it would kill everyone or turn everyone insane. We're the only person who has so far survived and kept our sanity from the corpus disease, which made us immortal. I swear the music just went up again. I don't know what's going on with the music. Every time that the main menu theme starts again, it seems to ignore the fact that I've turned down the music. So, when we take down Dagoth Ur, he's made this giant construct called the Akulakhan. What that construct is it's not really fully explained in this game. However, in the second game, I believe, in the story, and maybe the first game, there is another giant construct which was made by Kagrenac, which was called something like the Numidium, because I believe the Akulakhan is supposed to be the second Numidium, which was also a giant robot which was used to conquer the world. So Dagoth Ur's plan was basically to redo that, but this time with himself as the leader. So obviously we destroy the heart so that can no longer be done, because now there's no way to power such a massive construct anymore without the heart of a god to do it. And we kill Dagoth Ur, and we end the blight, and we save all of Roenfell. It doesn't stay saved forever, because one day before Skyrim, the entire island is destroyed by a volcanic blast from Red Mountain, which may or may not have something to do with the fact that we just destroyed the heart of Lorkhan underneath Red Mountain. Let's forget about that. That's not important. Obviously, that's not our fault. So, yeah, that's the story, pretty much. And then obviously during the second expansion, because the first one we take down Almalexia and Sofa Cell. The second expansion is the Daedric Prince Hircine, who is like Azura, just another Daedric Prince, and we just basically beat him in his own hunt that he does every like 100 years or however often it is that he does it, and force him to leave the world for another century. So that was effective. We'll have a lot more dealings with Hircine, Azura and the other gods in future games. However, for this game, that's everything, I believe. I definitely didn't explain most of the things in the game, but I explained some of it, and that's what's important. So let's end on the stupidly loud volume of the main theme again, because it doesn't understand the volume control. See you next time.